Hi beauties, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be doing a product review. I'm actually going to be reviewing the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation, which I'm super excited to talk about because it's only $6.49 at the drugstore. Exactly, right? We all love a really great deal. We don't want to be spending way too much money on makeup if we don't need to, especially if you are on a budget. You're really going to love this foundation, but I'm going to talk about it. We're going to do a demo. I am going to be pumping out so much more content because of the COVID-19 lockdown, and I've been home for quite some time now, so I'm really taking advantage of the fact that I don't have anywhere to be. Everything has been canceled, and we're just gonna create content, hang out in my makeup room. You guys can come and chill with me. And also, if you want to see kind of like behind the scenes and vlogs, you can go ahead and follow my vlog channel, Dulce Candy TV. I'll link it down below for you guys, but that's going to be more like what I do throughout my day. So anyways, let's jump right into the review. They have 20 shades available, a few dark tone shades, which I feel like we need a balance of the light shades and the dark shades because we all come in many different colors, and some of us have to mix different foundations, and some of us are lucky if we have 20 cream beigey colors. Not all of them are available at the drugstores for you guys to go and actually swatch, which is a downfall, a definite con. And those shades are usually the darker shades. So if you are of a darker skin complexion, that might be an issue that you might run into if you do want to try this foundation. Not only the color selection, but also the fact that you don't actually get to go into the drugstore and swatch every dark tone color on your skin. Also in the PR package, they included a primer slash serum. This is a new product also by Wet n Wild, and what I thought was really interesting is that it's a serum and a primer all in one. So this is a hydrating serum. It has rose water extract, which we all know is super hydrating. It also has camellia leaf extract and green tea extract. This is more of just added benefits to the serum. So it is water-based and it is hydrating. So all the ingredients for the most part are hydrating ingredients, and hydration is something that no matter what your skin concern or your skin type is something that we all need. First of all, I love the color. It's like very milky. It comes with a dropper, of course. You can just apply this directly onto your skin. So I'm just going to apply a little bit here. And you can massage this with your fingertips, just very lightly. And like I mentioned, it is water-based, so it does feel very watery. It says it's going to smooth the skin also. So it's going to get it ready for the foundation. We all love the dewy finish. So maybe give this a try. All right, so now you want to let this set into the skin for a few minutes so it really penetrates and hydrates the skin before you do your foundation application. Price tag, this is $7.99. Right? You can never really find a serum for $7.99, guys. So I think that's a really good deal. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but something that I'm noticing is that the skin actually feels kind of sticky, which is, I feel like, the primer part, because the foundation is really going to grab onto the skin. But I also see some rose gold particles reflecting off my skin. So the skin is looking super hydrated and actually glowy on its own like this. You can see the light just reflecting off my cheeks, my whole entire face. But I don't necessarily see any blurring of imperfections because I still see my pores coming through a little bit and my actual skin texture. So that part, don't know about that part because it is claiming to smooth and blur out imperfections, and I do not see it happening for me, but it does make me look super glowy and hydrated. All right, let's go into the foundation. I actually wrote down some notes of my actual pros versus the cons. Obviously, one of the pros is that it's $6.49 because the price tag, you can't beat a $6.49 foundation that is also going to deliver. Now, I have used this foundation already, and when my sister Wendy came over, I highly recommended it to her because I was like, I am obsessed with this foundation. And I was actually going to do like a updated foundation routine, but I figured just giving you more of a thorough review on the foundation is much more useful. Now, my color, cream beige. Why am I a beige? I'm tan. This is a spin-off from their original Photo Focus foundation formula. This is just, of course, dewy. We all love dewy skin, right? I love dewy skin. So when you open it up, the actual applicator is a wand. A little wand like this, which this could actually be a con for me because you don't want to go directly onto your skin from the actual tube, but I feel like you can help but want to just put it directly on your face. So I would recommend either putting it onto the back of your hand like that. It's very super creamy. The actual foundation is super creamy and liquidy. So that's really good. Now this foundation is made for normal to dry skin. Why? Because if you have oily skin, the dewiness, it's just going to be too much going on unless you don't mind setting your face throughout the day. Or if you have slightly oily skin, I think that's going to be cool, but it's definitely made for normal to dry skin complexions, guys. I feel like once I have it onto my skin, it really matches my skin complexion. So we're gonna do one layer first, and I am using a beauty blender. I found that this is like the best way to apply this foundation because of its dewy finish. Typically with a brush, you're going to get a lot of streaking with the brush, and I've tried many different brushes, so I found a beauty blender, any type of beauty sponge is really gonna be your best friend. So I'm going to start by dabbing it. Smells good. I am going to be doing 2 different layers because I want to show you the wearable daytime layer because it's definitely medium to full coverage. So you can wear one layer during the day, and then if you want to amp it up for nighttime, you can definitely, or for more coverage, you just do another layer. So, woo! You see that, guys? That's super dewy, right? I know. I love it. And it is covering up any redness. It's covering up imperfections. Definitely a holy grail. The foundation also does claim that it blurs out imperfections, and honestly, I'm definitely seeing that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this side. On this side is where I have like all my sunspots. So let's see how this works out. I usually always do 2 layers of this foundation, and it's like just completely flawless. It's cooling also. It feels really cooling on the skin. It just blends so nicely with this beauty blender. It gets rid of all the dark circles, any red spots. It's honestly just such a beautiful finish. I'm going to do the forehead. So I'm just going to bounce a little bit of it all around. And here you have it. So this is one layer of the foundation. And honestly, I just been used to doing 2 of them, but I feel like with one, I'm good. I feel like if you have oily skin and you leave it just like this, you are going to be super oily looking. The foundation itself does give you a beautiful, glowy, dewy finish. But if you have oily skin, I feel like you really are just going to look like a hot, oily mess. Because it's like, yeah, I could see the oil coming through like the T-zone, for example, and just really messing everything up. Because there is a fine line between dewy and oily, right? So even though I have normal skin type, I am going to dust a little bit of translucent powder on my face, but we're going to do that after the second application. So here is the first. You also want to make sure that you shake it. I forgot to shake it. Now we're going to do a second layer, but it's not going to be as heavy because I already have most of my coverage. So I'm just going to do about that much onto the back of my hand. And with the same beauty sponge, I am just going to actually just dab it where I have my sunspots, which is here. So on the high cheekbones. I only have sunspots on this side because my hubby is always the one that's driving and the sun is always on the right side for whatever reason. But you can amplify your foundation coverage just on the areas where you need it. It doesn't have to be your whole entire face. You know, you can do full coverage just on certain areas. So I'm just gonna do it here on the cheekbones because honestly, I think this one medium coverage layer is more than enough for my skin. I just kind of like to overdo it sometimes, to be honest. Another really great positive thing about this foundation is that if you do have dry skin, the formula itself is super hydrating and moisturizing. And if you add the serum right beneath it, you're gonna get a lot of hydration. So hopefully if you guys are suffering with dry skin, especially in the winter time, hopefully this foundation can really make a difference for you, you know, and you can't go wrong with $6.49. And even if you spend $6.49 and you don't like it, girl, return it. That's what I do. There's the foundation. It definitely does wear like skin, which is also a really great positive thing. But like I said, I do tend to get a little bit oily on my T-zone. So I am going to do a little bit of translucent powder. This one's also by Wet N Wild, and they have one that is in a banana shade as well, like a yellow tone. But the yellow tone, even though I do have it, I'm not going to use that one today. I'm just going to do translucent. And I'm only going to do a little bit like this because I do not want to get rid of the dewiness. So I'm going to take a small brush like this one. This one's also by Wet n Wild, but I think this is like a limited edition brush. And I'm only going to dust the powder around my nostrils. So this is something if you have normal skin, normal to dry skin, you can just do this around the nose. That area I like to keep mattified no matter what, and then I just like to keep everything else looking dewy. I also mattify my chin, and the last place that I mattify is right beneath or in between my eyebrows, and then I just dust off whatever's left like that. So you can see that's super mattified, right? I don't want to do the whole face because then that just takes away from the dewy effect of the foundation, and that's why I'm kind of obsessed with it. So what I'm going to do now is actually go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, like my blush, my contour, my lip color, and then I'll be back to share my final thoughts. All right, ladies, so now that I'm done with my makeup, I just want to share a few things with you guys. One of the things that I found really extraordinary about the foundation itself, and I know I'm really raving about it, but it's really the bomb.com, guys. Wait until you try it. So normally when I'm done with a liquid foundation, I always have to set it with a powder, like the whole thing if I'm going to use powders on top of it, especially like bronzer or blush, because if you don't set a liquid foundation, it tends to get really blotchy because the powder will catch on to like the wet spots of the foundation, and then it's going to be super blotchy and super difficult to blend. But I have to say that I did not set my cheeks at all. The only part that I did set, of course, you guys saw me do, was the T-zone. But I went ahead and I used a powder bronzer like this one. This one's by L'Oreal. And I used it very lightly with a large powder brush. And I did not see any blotchiness, as you guys can see, right? It looks very smooth, very radiant, and the glow is still coming through the bottom, even though I did put a powder on top of it, right? And then for the glow that I have right here, I only ended up doing a little bit of one of my favorite highlighters, which is this one by Benefit called What's Up. This is a cream to powder formula, and I just used my finger a little bit and then I just dabbed it on here. So that way you can have more of a natural finish to your makeup without having a lot of chunks or something super like obvious with glitter, right? Or with shimmer. So that's what I did, and I was really happy with the outcome, guys. Super happy. As you can see, the foundation looks absolutely flawless. It looks luminous. The only cons that I could think of definitely has to be the lack of shades available, especially for darker complexion women, and also the fact that it's really hard to just swatch a color in person at the drugstore or at Ulta because they don't really have all those colors available. Also, it's not for oily skin. Unfortunately, it sucks that people with oily skin can't really try these type of foundations, but if you do want to try this foundation out and you have oily skin, I highly recommend a nice translucent powder like this one. This one's mattifying. And then just carry those little sheets to absorb the excess oil throughout the day, which is honestly something that I just do even though I have normal skin type. So I still blot my T-zone because I get a little bit oily here, but this powder is really going to help so you don't have a lot of oil coming through. So that's one. And also use an oil absorbing primer before you put on the foundation if you want to try it out. So overall, I'm super happy with the combination of the foundation and the oil serum all in one. It looks really good. I love it. I approve. I recommend it to you guys. So let me know if you guys enjoyed these quick demos and reviews. I would love to do more. I have an abundance of makeup everywhere here and so many cool new products that always come in to my house that I really want to talk about. So if you guys have any special requests or if you have any comments, any concerns, any questions about today's video, leave me a comment down below. Thumb it up if you enjoyed today's video and subscribe to my channel, of course. So until then, have a blessed and beautiful day, guys, and I'll see you soon. Stay safe out there.